G'day, how are you?
Yep.
Hi, how are you? I'm Sam. I'm from Melbourne West Police Station. Are you Christina Bebek?
Yes, I am.
Do you have any ID on you at all today?
What for?
I just so I can just ID. Just
Do I have to show it?
Do you have any on you?
Well, do I need to show it?
Okay, that's fine. Can you state your name for me?
What for?
What for? So I'm here in regards to the protest you attended on the 10th of May. So
Yeah.
do you have any ID on you?
Why are you asking me?
Would you just like to verify your details?
You don't need to verify my details.
Yes, we do.
No, you don't. I don't even know what you're here for.
Okay, so look, I was going to give you a quick caution. So, okay, so my name is Sam Fletcher. You don't have
Who
to.
are you?
I'll show you some audit.
And where are you from?
Melbourne West Police Station.
Okay.
So listen, you don't have to say or do anything, but anything you say or do may be using evidence. Do you understand that?
Okay, in that case, I'll say nothing. Thank you.
That's fine, but can you please state your full name and your address?
I don't need to.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
It's actually an offence.
It's an offence.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I'm not driving a car. I'm at home. You've come my you're very close
Christina,
to coming right onto my property.
Here in regards to the offence of breaching COVID laws, therefore it is.
I haven't breached any COVID laws.
We're here in regards to the protest you attended.
Just change your terminology. Breaching COVID directions.
Sorry,
okay, there's a difference between directions and laws.
Okay, yeah, we're here in regards to you breaching COVID directions.
And what do you want to do?
Well, we need to ask you. We need to read something to you, ask you a few questions.
Well,
you've
told me that I don't need to answer any questions. I'm not prepared to answer any
Name and address
questions.
is something you must state because it's an offence not to state your name and address.
Well, under what law?
Under the Crimes Act.
Where? What section?
456 AA.
Okay, let me look it up. Excuse me for a moment.
And the whole world is changing, the whole world. And I was thinking about this morning. You gotta be willing to adapt and change with the times and release what I call mental anchors. Release these mental anchors like, for example, things are gonna return back to normal. Going to college guarantees a job. America is gonna reopen again, just like it once did prior to this initial virus outbreak. Now, Donald Trump did announce today, says he's not going to close down the country a second time, even if the virus hits a very, very deadly wave, which is probably good for the economy if that doesn't happen. But if it does happen, again, he's probably politicizing a little bit because his eyes are focused on the re-election campaign, which is a very, very serious event for him. And he won't win if he closes down the country. But I was reading in the news, all the major Fortune 500 companies, all the resilient business models, the ones stocks hitting new all-time high. It's all in tech. Facebook, Google, Amazon, Shopify, e-commerce, online learning. All of these companies are telling you, this was the market news today, they're never going back to the old way of doing business. So for example, nobody's going to go into the office ever again. Mark Zuckerberg said over the next 5 to 10 years, he'll have less than 50%, probably less than 30%, maybe less than that, actually go into a physical office. It means that you tuning in, everybody's working remotely for the first time in history, at home, for good. Think about that from a commercial real estate perspective. We have ghost buildings now in every major city that have no use case at all because everyone's working from home. It's also democratized. This creates opportunity for a lot of you tuning in, but it also creates a more competitive environment down the line because you are now competing, let's say if you're in America, as an American against the entire rest of the planet. Second, third world countries. If you're in sales or marketing or programming or real estate, you're competing with people that maybe live on $1 a day, that could be smarter than you, have more talent than you, didn't need a college degree, for example, to learn blockchain.
Just before we do, we've got some information. You can look that up.
Information about what?
The information that we've got to read out to you about what happened. Hang on a second. Stop interrupting me.
Where is it against my rights to attend a protest?
Well,
where?
Listen, if you allow us to speak, we're about to
go right ahead.
Okay.
Please.
So on Sunday, the 10th of May 2020, you were in attendance at a planned demonstration outside Parliament's house located at Spring Street.
A lawful demonstration?
Listen for a second.
The demonstration took place between 12 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. The state of emergency was declared and it is in place until midnight, the 11th of May 2020, Public Health and Wellbeing Act.
Declared by who?
Listen.
2008, Section 198. It is an
Of
offence.
what?
Listen.
The Health,
Can I ask a question?
The Health and Wellbeing Act of 2008.
Is that the Constitution?
It's not the Constitution. It's the
No,
Health and
exactly.
Wellbeing Act.
Exactly. Get that clear in your head.
I said Health and Wellbeing Act. I said nothing about the Constitution.
I've got no interest in the Health and Wellbeing Act.
Clause 11, subsection 4 of the Chief Health Officer's stay-at-home direction creates restrictions on
I'm at home right now.
gatherings.
I'm at home. I'm staying
Listen,
home.
exercise your right to remain silent for a sec.
It
Listen to
provides
the
that-
Why don't you exercise your right to remain
Do you
silent?
want to listen to this whole thing or not?
Not really. Can I go now?
No, just listen to this, and we need to confirm your identity, okay?
I'm not confirming my identity.
It provides that the person must not arrange to meet with more than one person in an outdoor space unless where each
That's a
person
direction. It's not
ordinarily
law. That's a
resides
direction.
together.
Listen.
By attending the planned demonstration, you have committed the offence.
I have
against
committed no offence.
Section 203, subsection 1 of the Public Health and Wellbeing Act, and as such, you will be issued an infringement notice. Infringement offence.
You can issue whatever you
Offence
like.
code
You can issue
0945.
whatever you
Infringement
like.
penalty is $1,652. This will be served in the mail to you.
Okay, and I'll serve it right back. I'll serve it right back. Thank you. Don't waste my time.
Use Shopify, for example, with e-commerce, you'd be one of the few people doing very, very well in this new economy. While at the same time, juxtaposed to this, we have 36 plus million, we'll get a report tomorrow, of job losses that are permanent job losses and not coming back. We have record furloughs, record loss of income, tens of millions of people in America that are no longer paying their mortgage payments. They're no longer paying their car payments. We have what we're seeing is a debt jubilee. I talked about this. It's the Cloward-Piven model, where they basically engineer all this through Hegelian dialectic to push towards the socialist agenda, which is what we have now. The point is, in another few years, this will be even more growingly obvious, and you're going to see these technologies explode. You're absolutely going to see blockchain as the #1 industry in the world, I believe, short, medium, and long term. Because you just don't need all these jobs. You don't need all these colleges and universities. The debt is going to be reset, and it's just never going to come back to where it once was. So my point is, you need to be learning about new things today. You need to drop these anchors, these mental anchors that things are going to go back to normal when they're not. It's never going to be normal again. They've told you this is the new normal.
The Federal Reserve is concerned that a second wave of infections around year's end will result in another round of social distancing and further damage to the economy, while the WHO made clear Wednesday that the pandemic is far from over after countries around the world collectively reported the largest daily increase in coronavirus cases so far. Apple and Google have released contract tracing technology, and 3 U.S. states have committed to using it. Ford continues to face disruptions, with a Chicago plant reopening and closing twice in 24 hours after 2 workers tested positive. This is CNBC's live blog covering all the latest news on the coronavirus outbreak. This blog will be updated throughout the day as the news breaks. The data above was compiled by Johns Hopkins University, 6:48 p.m. Eastern Time. YouTube advertisers in April mostly ran non-COVID related ads on the platform. An executive said 80% of the ads that we saw in April were not COVID related, they were straight up ads, said Tara Walpert-Levy, VP of Agency and Media Solutions at Google and YouTube. She said generally, COVID-themed ads did not perform any better than regular ads on the site. The company looked at factors like what people watched and how they engaged, as well as brand metrics like consideration or brand preference. Surprisingly, YouTube found that COVID-specific ads performed no better or worse than regular ads. Megan Graham, 6:28 p.m. Eastern Time, Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin told the Senate Banking Committee on Tuesday that furloughed workers aren't eligible for unemployment if they refuse an offer to return to a prior job. That's generally true, but the CARES Act carved out a few reasons someone can refuse a job offer and still collect benefits, needing to care for a sick family member or a child whose school has closed, for example. States will likely interpret eligibility differently, experts said. Putting workers back on payroll is a key provision of the Paycheck Protection Program, which offers forgivable loans to small businesses. Many workers, primarily low to moderate income individuals, can potentially earn more from unemployment than a prior job. Greg Iacurci 6:14 p.m. Eastern Time. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel has asked President Donald Trump to wear a mask when he visits a Ford Motor factory in Ypsilanti on Thursday. In an open letter, Nessel said Trump has a legal responsibility under state law to wear a mask, CNBC's Dan Mangan reports. Trump has previously not worn a mask in public, and the White House is going to make its own determination as to whether he will wear one, according to Ford. Hannah Miller 6:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Apple released a software update on Wednesday, iOS 13.5, which makes it easier to use an iPhone with a face mask on. The iPhone's facial recognition system, Face ID, cannot unlock a phone if the user's mouth and nose are covered.